we were left with the mantra that we had to go out and do something. So I'm going to talk to you about two things. That it matters and that we can do it. But I'm going to do reverse. We can do it. Now, you heard Roy talk about the voting numbers, but the way I look at it is like this. Right now, when Republicans are elected statewide, a little more than a third Republicans vote for them. And then we find a little less than a third Democrats voted. And then we find that there's about a third of people who are registered but did not vote. So there's a whole third of our state that gives us room to get people more to the polls. And it can be done, a strategic, energetic, get out the vote campaign can be done, and that is our job of the county parties, is to get them to the polls. And you'll hear from the candidates, their job is to convince you to vote for them. And what we did in Denton County in the last cycle to get people out, because what we're doing matters. We increased our funding because we did it in a very, very deep job of fundraising, and it was difficult because in this area, Democrats are not used to donating. We increased our fundraising, we had a strategic outreach, we were paying for block walkers, we paid for all of our candidates to advertise, we were doing videos about ectopic pregnancies and the reason why women need to have that choice. We were paying phone bankers. And Denton County is the only county in North Texas, actually 1 out of 11, that increased Democratic turnout. Because people started caring and started going out and getting out to do that. So we can do it. Thank you so much for that, because when we say we increase Democratic turnout, people don't understand how important that is. Even though it was small, we went this way. San Antonio, Dallas, Austin, El Paso, all blue cities. Houston did not do what? Increase turnout. So if they had a huge turnout in 2018, those counties only got about 60, 70% in 2022. So we don't need blue counties to just stay blue. We need them to go deep, right? And so an organized, get out the vote, strategic way of approaching it. And when I say strategy, that means sometimes you make hard decisions because we have to allocate our resources where we have to allocate them. That can make a difference. And what you do can make a difference. Even if you're gonna donate 2 hours a week, phone banking for a candidate and making sure people vote all the way down the ballot, it matters. And we're only going to ask you to call Democrats, right? Because I'm not trying to increase Republican turnout. So you're not going to, and then if you do call someone who's not a Democrat, you're going to put that data in there, and that's going to help Kamala and her team, because that data, they're going to see that's a Republican. Okay, so what we do matters. Now I'm going to tell you why it matters. I'm going to end on that. Don't hold me to it because I'm a lawyer, but you know, I'm gonna try to make it quick. So a couple of weeks ago, my very best friend's daughter-in-law died in labor. She bled out. In fact, the funeral is tomorrow. She was in her 20s. She had a 2-year-old. She's married. And needless to say, everybody's devastated. And so my friend, being the researcher that she starts researching, and we all know maternal mortality rates are terrible in an industrialized country like ours, and even worse in Texas. They were terrible in California, but apparently, probably because they had a Democratic governor, they said, let's research why are women dying in pregnancy. And they determined that a large reason is because people just don't care. How scientific is that? Men, women, I'm not going to say just men, but the medical industry is geared towards men, even with heart attacks. Women die most for heart attacks, right? We say we have heart problems. They say you're just being dramatic. So we know that being pregnant is a very serious condition, right? And the right to make a decision about your own autonomy. I don't care if it's because you're not ready to have a baby, or if it's because you want to live, or you know that your baby's only going to live 72 hours and then die in pain. You should have the right to make that decision. So some of you may have seen a few days, I've been debating, and I debated this man who said, women should have the right to autonomy, but I don't know what he said because I usually black out when people say that. And I had to remember, you're on a network where they purport to be Christian. Because my first response was, and I probably can say this even though it's not there, what the fuck do you think you're? But I didn't go there. And I had to think this way in milliseconds, you know, and I'm like, oh, I probably won't get aired, but don't do that. So I don't even know what he said, because guess what? I don't give a fuck what you think about the butt. And so I decided, well, I'm not gonna get kicked out, but I'm gonna slap you with some reality. And I said, well, you have the privilege of doing that because you will never be raped by your father and be forced to bear his child. He said, oh, and thank God. I said, yeah, thank God for you. But a woman who's in that situation should have the right to decide to do what they're gonna do. I'm hoping y'all prefer that better than me just blacking out and cussing out, you know. I don't know if I can, and that was before my friend's daughter died, her daughter-in-law. But that is the why we have to do what we're doing. You know, anybody who read Roe v. Wade knows that we balanced freedom and potential life. It was a perfect case of when we should get into the realm of having the right to say no, or when the state's right's more important. And the fact that they want to take away a woman's right and they think that's okay, it's because they don't care. And obviously we know that's not all men. There's a whole lot of men, a whole lot of people of all races who know that not only is democracy on the line, but right now, women's rights are on the line. And I am in a constant state of rage. I fucking care about anything else too much, sorry. But that is the one. I'm sorry. It's been real. I have been real. I'm trying not to do it all the time. But I'm amongst friends, okay? I was in a hostile place. So we appreciate you guys coming out. Remember, everything you do matters, not just for the person you're working for, that candidate, but up and down the ballot. And if you want to do it in an organized way, get with the party because we're trying to get everybody on that ballot elected. So have a great day. Thank you.